Hello, collective. I am Juanica, also known as Miss Astrology, and this video is to give some insight to all 12 signs for the upcoming eclipses. We have our first lunar and then followed by a solar eclipse, and these eclipses are actually pretty special. So I'm going to give you some insight into those. And we also have Mercury getting ready to retrograde, which is our first Mercury retrograde of 2024. So I think that for so many of us, we have been in go mode. We have really been mashing the gas, really trying to, make progress and make the best of winter, which is awesome. That's exactly what the planets had set up for us. That was exactly the energy. Well, now that we're headed into eclipse season as well as our first Mercury retrograde, the energy shifts. And so we need to also shift and pivot with it, right? So I'm going to give some insight and as well as insight to all 12 signs. But before I do, I just want to take a moment to encourage everyone to check out my website, cosmicallylit.com. There's going to be a link somewhere around here, depending on how you're watching this video. But on my website, you can see more videos. You can sign up for the newsletter and also check out some of my courses. I have astrology and relationships, which gives you insight into how to really determine true compatibility, as well as how to work with the compatibility you already have. And then I also have astrology fundamentals. And this is where I break down extensively the 4 fundamentals, which are the planets, the signs, the houses, and aspects. And this is an amazing foundational course where you really learn everything, the science and the astronomy as well as the astrology, and how to really just understand it in a practical and fun and useful way. Like, what's the point of knowing astrology if you can't put it to use in your daily life? So it really leans into how to use astrology to better yourself, for your relationships, your career, your health, all that good stuff. So all of that is on my website. And if you want to book a reading with me, I still do live readings via Zoom, and they're recorded cosmicallylit.com. So I just want to encourage everyone to check out my website. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into the eclipse season and what we can expect for the eclipses. And so this first set of eclipses, the first one is going to happen on March 29th. So the sun is in Aries at this time, and the moon is going to make its way to Libra. And the nodes of the moon are involved. This is what makes them an eclipse. And so really what it is that the sun, the moon, and the earth are in perfect alignment to where the earth actually will eclipse or kind of interfere with the sun fully exposing the moon and making it a full moon. So the earth is going to get in the way of this. And so for a lot of us, or for us, not even, well, a lot of us, because it's going to impact more of us than others, some of us more than others, but for us, what this really is an indication of, okay, what is going to get in the way? What is going to come up? What is going to happen where that I need to know? Because again, it's a full moon, so it's something that we need to know, something that is going to be exposed to us. However, with the first eclipse, it's always about, okay, wait a minute. I see something that's coming up. I see something interfering. I see something get in the way with progress. And when we say what kind of progress, well, then you look at what sign the moon is in, which is Libra. So maybe progress with relationships, progress with money, progress with partnering, and like kind of where that is coming from. Like, why are you still in this relationship? Why are you still in this partnership? Why do you have kind of this connection or this sense of value connected to maybe money or partnering or that kind of things? So these things are going to come up for us now during this first eclipse, which happens on March the 25th. So really on Monday, like as we go into next week, and we're like really just getting good into Aries season, right? So things are going to come up, things are going to be exposed, but we're not going to have everything that we need. We're not going to have all the information. It's not going to fully be exposed. It's kind of like we're getting a hint of where we need to pivot, where we're going to need to make some changes. And for the cardinal signs, which are going to be the most impacted by these series of eclipses, this is going to be the most impactful for you guys. So that's Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. There are going to be a lot of things that come up with relationships, partnering, and really all those things that are Libra related. Remembering that Libra is the sign of I balance or I harmonize, and Libra is the only sign in the zodiac that is not represented by a living being. And so you really can take from that the fact that Libra does draw a lot of its value from others and its relationship with others. Because if you think about it, Libra is the scale, right? And a scale is not useful unless you bring something else to it to weigh, to balance out, to harmonize. And so with that, it's like saying Libra, not that they don't find value within themselves, but what's being highlighted right now is, are you connecting too much of your own value to other partnerships, relationships, any other kind of connection? And is it a material connection? Remembering that Libra is not represented by a living thing, right? So are you too much connected with money? Are you maybe too much connected and put too much value on your physical body? Maybe do you put too much value and connection on your relationships, your partnerships, who you know, who you have access to, those kind of Libra things, like the beautiful ones, beauty, art. Like, are you too connected, too identified with? Remember, the sun is in Aries and rules Aries. The sun does not like to be in Libra. And so even though the sun is in Aries and magnifying everything that's in Libra right now, specifically Libras in general, you guys are going to be like, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to deal with this. I want everything to just stay how it is. I can work with it. Even if I'm not fully happy, even if this isn't the life of my dreams, everybody else seems to be happy and everything looks nice and pretty on the outside. So I'll just go ahead and stick with this. Well, during this transit, this is not going to work. This is not going to happen. So things are going to come up around the 25th. Not anything super in your face. I don't think it's going to be any, because of the degrees of this eclipse, and with it being the moon involved, it's more on the outside. So even in that, you might hear things from the outside. You might get these, you overhear a conversation, or someone says this isn't something that really happens at home, but maybe something is said, outside, or you see it somewhere else, or you get a message that comes from outside. But even in that message inside, it nudges something. It makes you feel some kind of way. And it makes you feel like, I need to reevaluate that. I need to rethink about that. There's something there. And with Mercury going retrograde beginning April 1st, there's some things that are going to come back up. There are some conversations that are going to need to be rehabbed. There are some things that are going to need to be revisited. Of course, there's going to be the regular stuff of electronics and daily travel. But with this being in Aries, Mercury retrograding in Aries, this very well may be like, it's time to speak up for myself. This is not going to be the easiest thing. However, with the eclipses as they are, it's not going to be avoidable. So that's going to start to take place on the 25th. And then on April 8th, when we get the solar eclipse, so it's a new moon, so it's the sun and the moon and Mercury retrograde in Aries. And so that energy there really is going to be where the intensity comes from, where the change is really like, oh no, something new has got to happen. And yes, it's an eclipse, and so there's still not a full understanding of what new needs to happen. There's still not, you still not going to know the plan per se. Like, we're still not necessarily going to get it, but we're going to know something has got to happen. Something has got to take place for my well-being, for my greater good. And I say that because, first of all, Aries is a sign of I am. And not in a bad way. I don't judge it, but Aries is a selfish sign, and it's not a negative thing. You got to put your own air mask on first before you can save others, right? So Aries is a sign of I am. Well, also, the North Node is in Aries, really about finding your purpose. What is your purpose? What is the direction in life for you right now? What is your best interest? What is in your best interest, and really get you on your right track? But Chiron is also in Aries. So not only are so many of us really trying to get on purpose, on track, in the right direction of our personal satisfaction, our personal goals, our personal strengths, conquer our personal demons and warriors, really get serious about our personal healing. because that's what Chiron represents. Chiron is the wounded healer. And I think for so many of us, we're getting to that point where I'm sick of being the wounded one. I'm ready to heal so I can go ahead and start pouring into other people's lives. South Node in Libra, Moon in Libra. Still want to balance it out, right? Start help pour into other people's lives so that they can heal. But we have to be healed first. And so on this axis of the Libra Aries eclipses, it is going to be very important that we allow ourselves to let go of and to pivot from any relationships or partnering or sense of value that we tied to material gains or things that just don't come from within. And that what society may consider to be beauty, or, what society considers to be luxury. Like we can untie ourselves from those things during this time. They're going to come up for us that this is actually something that could very well be hindering our healing. And so the very best thing that we can do at this time is identify it, let it come up for us, deal with it. And Libra is a very logical sign. So it's like, think about it. Like really just thinking about it. How is this benefiting my greater good? How is this getting me on track to my purpose? How is this setting me in the direction that I genuinely want to go, that I feel I am on my way to? Is this going to hold me back? If I continue with this mindset or even this partnership or commitment or this dedication to, a sense of value in money or a sense of value in beauty or a relationship, if I continue this, where am I going to be? Just start with 18 months. Where am I going to be in the next 18 months? Okay. And I think that, but again, I do think that on the 8th, it's really going to come up really big. And from there, it's going to be like, okay, no, something really big is going to happen. Change is coming. Change is here. And I'm ready for it. And again, the cardinal signs are going to deal with this the most. So let's go ahead and dive into the energy for each of the individual zodiac signs. And I just really hope that you will really consider this energy. Again, just to wrap up what I'm saying for the collective. During the month of April and really starting the 25th for really, I would say the next 4 or 5 weeks, it's not go time anymore. There's going to be opportunities for us to pivot. And that's really what we're doing within this next month or so. And it's very much things are going to come up. We're going to need to reorganize. We're going to have to reconsider. We're going to have to, revisit conversations. We're going to have to redo some things where it's time to pivot. And the planets offer this opportunity, every 3 to 6 months. Like this is something it's needed right now. And so many of us have been in go mode since the beginning of the year, which is good. But every 3 months, we need to take an opportunity to see in what direction are we still going in the right direction. Like sometimes you put your head down and you just go, and you don't even realize you veered off course a little bit. And so now it's time to regroup. So I suggest that we spend the last week of March really into April, readjusting, reorganizing, really getting on purpose with ourselves, really getting in direction, in alignment with our personal healing, our personal goals. And then we started up again. Taurus season would be good. That's 420. I really would like to see Mercury fully out of retrograde. So I will give it to the beginning of May before we ramp things back up again and get going again for another 3-month cycle. Then revisit in the next Mercury retrograde. This year, Mercury retrogrades in fire signs all year. And so this energy really speaks highly to us really being passionate. And it's very important with Mercury retrograding in fire signs that we take the time to re-examine that we're still in alignment and in, accordance with our passions and the things that we're excited about in the direction that we're excited to head. So, okay, let's go with insight for all 12 zodiac signs. Up first, of course, Aries. All right, Aries. So the eclipse that happens on the 25th is in your 7th house. So this is in partnerships, relationships, agreements. So these are the things that are going to kind of come up for you, Aries. And listen, I got to be honest. I know the North Node is in Aries. I know Chiron is in Aries. And I know that Aries is already the sign of I am. However, I feel like there is maybe a place in Aries' life where they need to give a little bit more. That giving more can actually allow them to be in a better position of partnering when Libra season gets here. And I know Aries is not necessarily the sign for partnership and for partnering. Aries likes to do things on their own. They're really a solo worker because they like to be the leader. They don't want to really be responsible for anybody outside of themselves. However, Aries has a lot of insight to give. They really can fire you up. They really can get you excited and get you going. They're great leaders. And so I do think that during this time, Aries can give more to their relationships. And what they're ultimately going to find out is that this contributes more to their own healing and getting them in alignment with their personal goals and their purpose and really feeling good about what they're doing. So Aries, you're the only one that I'm actually going to say in this chart that, or during this, that this isn't about you. But I think that's just because you're known to make sure that you take care of you and make sure you keep yourself first. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is just the time for Aries to lean more into their partnerships, their relationships, their agreement with other people, and how they are offering what they know about themselves to give to others and what they've learned along the way. And just really being a leader, allowing yourselves to maybe be a mentor to other people during this time. There are still the potential to be some highlights with relationships and partnerships, legal agreements, that kind of thing that come up for you, where you likely will have to pivot when we get on April 8th. So be mindful of that and be aware for that coming up for you. But again, I actually think Aries is not going to be in the worst position. They're going to find a lot of healing from this energy. Okay, Taurus, this is happening on your 6th and 12th house axis. And I think, Taurus, for you right now, you are really going to find yourself in the position of your daily habits and routines, or maybe something going on in your daily habits or routines that are not really in alignment as far as agreements. Like, this isn't the partnership for you. This isn't the agreement for you. Maybe it's taking too much of your daily effort and your daily work, and maybe it's causing a little bit of stress and not allowing you to sleep at night, staying up too late. So this is something where you're going to be required to pivot when we get to April and really start to adjust your daily schedule and your daily tasks to be more self-driven and really get back to taking care of yourself. I feel like Taurus is contributing a lot to others right now, and the best thing that they can do is get back with their own healthy habits, healthy routines, and even in the work that they do, making sure that you're not trying to take on everything yourself, that you're allowing other people to help you. And you may even find that you have to make an adjustment with the people that are helping you. So you may find that when it comes back around to the 8th, that you have to step in a little bit and make some decisions and be some authority in your daily work, or maybe even advocating for your own health and wellness. And so I definitely suggest that you do that, Taurus. And even in that, this is also like maybe adjusting your food and the way that you're eating and things like that. So this, I think, for Taurus, maybe in this last week of March, may just really have your mind going, in Aries season in general, maybe really just have your mind going. However, I will say that I think that once you make these adjustments with the relationships or the partnerships or the agreements that you have, and you start to put yourself first when it comes to your daily routines and your daily habits and your daily schedule, that you'll start to feel back on purpose and back in alignment and back whole. Okay, Gemini, and of course Gemini rising, sun, moon, or rising. This is happening in your 11th and 5th house. So this has a lot to do with your friend groups, your social groups, and even your hopes for social connections and friend connections, community efforts, community involvement. So, you know, this is really has a lot to do with you maybe with it. Libra, and this moon happening in your 5th house of family, of creativity and relationships. Relationship, this is more of a romantic relationship, actually, Gemini. And so I would actually even think that there may be coming up something for you in your romantic relationships, or maybe dealing with family or children that you feel is not fair, or that it maybe isn't fair, that it's off balance. And you may find yourself going more towards your friends groups and your community involvement in order to really heal that. I do think that once we get into April, that you might find that you'll likely find yourself really having to stand up for yourself with your family, or really having to be forceful when it comes to children. But the other thing about this, Gemini, is this is a really good time to try to lean into any kind of creativity or creative endeavors, and release any blockages that aren't allowing you to be creative and have fun and really just play and enjoy life. And if that is what you're doing right now, just leaning into more of that when April comes, making sure that you're still having fun, you're still being creative, you're still spending time with family and children, but standing up for yourself, really representing yourself in that. And that may be something that comes up. Now, the other thing I do want to say, because Aries is such like a fighter sign, if you will, this could be this could be a sense of fighting that comes up. So I would just kind of encourage not to fight and be mindful of that as we go through the month of April. Okay. Okay, Cancer. This energy is happening in your 10th and 4th house, Cancer. So I do think that as far as work goes, you are going to find yourself likely really needing to stand up for yourself on the work front. There is likely a partnership or an agreement that you're thinking about at home, or maybe talking about with some people at home, or that has to deal with homes or something like that, or has to deal with children maybe, that you are going to really need to stand up for yourself, and even on the work front. So I think Cancer, again, I do think that the cardinal signs are going to kind of have this energy the hardest. And I think Cancer is going to be one of those. So you may even feel yourself fighting at home while things are being disruptive as work as well. Having to stand up for yourself at home while things are kind of changing at work. Now, the good thing about this is if you will stand up for yourself at work, this actually will put you in a better position and in better alignment when it comes to home or home life or children or selling homes or setting roots and foundations, buying a home maybe. But this is going to start with the work. This is the 10th and the 4th house. So that career, that public image, you really are going to need to put that out there a little bit more with more passion and really standing up for yourself and being proud of yourself and just genuinely who you are. Now, again, I think that there's going to be some shakeup at home because this full moon is going to happen in the 4th house, which is a Cancer ruled house. So I think there's going to be some shakeups on the home front, maybe some anxiety, maybe some issues or some things going on with children. Maybe they need money, or there's a problem with where they're staying or something like that. And so that's going to be something to work on. So Cancer's going to have it a little bit tough during this energy. So, I think that you may want to lean in more to work and how you can kind of stand up for yourself there and defend yourself there and really get focused there and just kind of see how the home life works itself out. Okay, Leo, this happens in your 9th house, which is a fiery house, so this isn't too bad. This happens in your 3rd and your 9th house. So Leos and Leo rising, I think first of all that you're likely going to have a conversation with siblings, neighbors, family members that you have an agreement with or a relationship with or partnering with, that something needs to be readdressed. Something is coming back up. And this could be just in a sense of what's fair, what's balanced, the harmony that is in that. And then with the, once we get into April and the Mercury retrograde and the second eclipse is happening in your 9th house. And this is really going to be an opportunity, Leo, to really stand up for your beliefs, your faith, and what you know. And when I say what you know, I mean like what you know on a bigger level, what you know on a higher level. This isn't like the little daily petty stuff. This is just what you ultimately feel comfortable with, like, I know what I know. And this, you'll likely find yourself needing to stand up for what you know to be true in your beliefs. And of course, this could be you having to, defend your beliefs or defend what you know or defend what you've learned and defend kind of this broader way of thinking when it comes to, siblings or neighbors, or it could be coworkers, but it's more so that day to day, these people, I feel like they're not coworkers. Maybe they work in the same building with you and there's, something going on there, a conversation that needs to be had or something like that kind of gets blown out of proportion, but y'all don't necessarily work together. But this does feel like, Leo, that this is a really good opportunity and a really good time to, stand up for yourself and defend your beliefs and defend what you know. And as well, with the North Node being in the 9th house, you know what you're talking about. And this is an opportunity to educate some people from a broader perspective in a bigger way, like a higher way. So I don't think this is really bad. For Leo energy, just be mindful that you may find yourself having a tough conversation next week with siblings. I would even say cousins, neighbors, people that like work in the same building with you, but maybe not directly with you, that there could be some tense conversations that come up during this time, and it could change the dynamic of your relationships with them. But that's okay, because it's okay to stand up for what you believe and what you know. It could be good if there doesn't have to be a fight with it, but so much Aries energy, I don't know how fighting is going to be avoided during this. Okay, Virgo, this is happening in your 8th and 2nd house. So the 2nd house is the money you make from the work that you do and value and resources. And so I do think that there will be an end to a partnership, an agreement or a relationship with somebody that you work with, or someone that you have some kind of legal agreement with, or some kind of binding agreement with. This could come to an end, and it probably needs to come to an end because it's not fair and it's not balanced, and some, like, they're not pulling their weight. People aren't doing their work. And so, and you intuitively know that. And I think for you, Virgo, this may be something that's actually bothering you and really kind of starting to brew. And so it's like, okay, no. Just, cut ties there. Let that dynamic of that relationship in, because I also do think that you will find yourself coming up with better opportunities for work and investing. Like, it's like, even during this time, like, it feels like there could be an argument at work or about money or about resources. But if you'll dig a little further, Virgo, you'll find some really good information that could very likely help you with money and with resources and with credit and with that kind of thing. Even if this desire to go looking for the information kind of comes from an argument or a fight, it'll just still send you down that rabbit hole where you'll find information that you need to make the wiser investment choice, or work choice, or anything like that. Credit, anything to do with credit. Additionally, with this being the 8th house, Virgo, this could be an opportunity for you to heal any kind of reproductive type illnesses, anything like that may be going on with your body. For some reason, I don't get a strong sense of what that's what that is. Maybe it's more so a mindset thing that, Virgo, you could use by calming down, would kind of help overall. It feels like all I want to say is don't stress about money, Virgo, but telling you that is not going to make you not stress about money. So don't argue with people at work. You're probably going to do it anyways. But whatever information is being spewed during this argument, take it in and research it later and see what you can take from it. All right, Libra, you're another one that's getting hit by this hard. And this is actually, Libra, in your sign. And so for Libras, I think this is really a lesson of, are you going to stand up for yourself? Remember, Aries, which is your sister sign, they need to give more to relationships. Libra needs to give more to themselves. Libra needs to stop trying to balance everything and realize that the only reason this is balanced is because you're giving your all, which means it's not balanced. So Libra, I tell you guys all the time, because you're such a sign of, I'll suck it up, I'll tell a lie, I'll do what I got to do in order to keep things copacetic, in order to keep things balanced. But sometimes you got to make some waves, and sometimes you got to cause some drama in order for, once the dust is settled, to see what you're really working with. And so Libra, this is very much a time for you to stand up for yourself, for you to consider your own well-being, specifically when it comes to relationships. And I do feel like, Libra, with all this Aries energy in your 7th house, there's some selfishness going on in relationships. And if I know anything about astrology and Leos, it ain't coming from you. So, or astrology and Libras, it ain't coming from you. It's coming from the Aries, or coming from the person that you're in partnership with. So the 7th house is not just romantic partnerships. It's agreements in general. Legal agreements, working agreements. It's your public friends, people that know that you have a relationship with. So these things are coming up for you now. And this is a real opportunity, Libra, for you to heal in how you approach and how you are involved in relationships, and really allowing yourself to see the value of balanced relationships, give and take. It cannot be just give. And so, Libras, I encourage you very much to stand up for yourself during this eclipse cycle. If that means ending relationships, ending partnerships, ending agreements, ending friendships, I promise you, this is for the better. This is going to get you back on alignment, or further in alignment with your purpose, with your goals, with your healing, with your ascension, and with getting away from just those old ways of doing things that you're not even happy with. The South Node in Libra is Libra like resting in things that they're just comfortable with doing. And it's like, nah, that's not going to work. Another thing Libra is really comfortable with doing is getting the money and getting the bag. And so I do also want to encourage Libra to not run away from the relationships problems that are being revealed and not to bury themselves in the money and in the material things. That's not healthy, Libra, and it's still not balanced because you still have to relate to other people. So you can't just go put your head down and work for the next 2 years and then come back up and think your relationships are going to be better. They're not. Stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself, be there for yourself. And I promise you, Libras, you are going to be in alignment. You're going to feel really, really good within the next 18 months for pivoting and releasing and making this change. Now, again, it's not going to all come all the way up for us at the beginning, or like right away. We're just going to get these little glimpses. But by the time May gets here, you should be really ready on your way and really know where the change is supposed to happen. Okay, Scorpio. This energy is happening in your 12th and 6th house. So a lot of in the same way as Taurus. This is very much, I think that Scorpio needs to really put their health first, and that they are likely having a really hard time sleeping right now, maybe feeling really isolated and spending a lot of time alone. And so I'm just really feeling like for Scorpios, the best thing that you can do is be very selfish about your daily habits and routines, and not work habits. It's not necessarily work habits. I think more so for Scorpio, it's more work habits for Taurus. I think for Scorpio, it's more health habits. It's more what you're eating and just making sure that you're making the decisions that, okay, no, this is my routine. I take a walk every morning. I take a stretch at this time. You know, I work out this. I'm not eating after this time. Whatever you've set as your own boundaries, this is really the time to get serious about them and to stop allowing others to impact them. I also think that Scorpio really should get on their sleep routine. This is just coming up for me with this South Node in the 12th house. I think that maybe Scorpio is thinking a lot about the past and a lot of things that have gone on in the past, and maybe where they could have done better or try to balance it out, or what they could have. Don't beat yourself up, Scorpio. And listen, I know Scorpios have been through a lot, but this is like, listen, let me get back on my daily habits, my daily routines, my fitness goals, my eating routines, those kind of things. Let me get back to that and get back to a daily schedule and some rituals and those kind of things to get me back in alignment and back on track with my purpose and really feeling good within my body and just healing in that sense. So some things will come up for you, Scorpio. And I do also think that you're going to have a difficult time sleeping for the next couple of weeks, and that you'll really start to feel a difference and feel better even physically within your body, and have that routine really in place by the time we get to May. So work on that through the month of April. All right, Sagittarius, this is happening in your 11th and 5th house. So again, the fire signs aren't getting it so bad. It's a little bit difficult for Aries, but still not even so bad for Aries. Fire signs are not getting this bad, honestly. This is in your 5th house of children, family, but it's family, not it's family like the whole family. It's like all the family members. I feel like Sag, visit your family. Go and see your family, even if you're going to do it alone. Like, go spend some time. Also, I do think that there's going to be some shakeups in maybe friend groups or community efforts where you may find yourself no longer in alignment with certain groups or with certain friendships, even that maybe that you feel a little bit pessimistic around them. These certain groups, you're not feeling the hope. You're not seeing the future in it anymore. And so this very well may be a time to pivot when it comes to that. Just pivot. The Sag don't have a problem pivoting, okay? It's a mutable sign. They're like, you could say pit, and they're like, out of here. So do that, Sagittarius. I do also think that it's very important to get back in alignment and healing within the family dynamic, in the fun dynamic. I don't know that Sag has had genuine fun, like family fun, during the winter months, that can be the hardest time of year for the fire signs because the sun does not transit a fire sign. And so it's like, listen, there's healing in laughter. There's healing in children. Like children bring joy, right? Like there's just healing in being around your family and laughing and having fun. So do those things. Allow yourself to be creative. Allow yourself to do what you want to do. Like how you feel your inner child wants to play, Sag. And do it for you, not for your friend groups, because this is a time where, yeah, your friend dynamics are likely going to change. And so it's going to be really important for you to be doing things for yourself so that you can really feel good as we go through the spring and the summer months. All right, Capricorn. You're the other one that's having it hard. This is happening in your 10th and 4th house. And so I do think that as far as professionally, there may be some things that Capricorn has to address, some relationships, some partnerships, some agreements, professional agreements, business agreements, work agreements that are likely not fair, that are off balance. Maybe people aren't contributing as much as they should financially, or maybe they're taking more than they should financially, Capricorn. And so this very well could come up for you during this time. I do think that the best way to overcome any kind of professional woes, if you will, right now, Capricorn, and I do think that you guys are going to be dealing with these kind of woes. Things may seem like they're smooth sailing once we go from May on, but then Pluto's going to retrograde back into your sign for a little bit. So at the end of the year, so some things are definitely going to change. And so with this South Node in your 10th house, it's just like, you know, let these relationships dynamics, these partnerships, these agreements, you may even get sued during this time, Capricorn, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner. So it's like, make sure all your insurances and your lawyers are ready to go. The other thing, Capricorn, with Aries and all this Aries energy being in your 4th house, and this makes it a square, it makes me feel like there's a potential for fighting on the home front or fighting with children. Maybe your children are fighting amongst themselves or with each other and you have to get in the middle of it. And but I think that you have to be really cautious about how you get in the middle of it, because then everybody could turn on you, or you could find yourself in the middle of a fight. Now, this is like a home fight. This could also be a fight for property, or a fight, any of those kind of things, like any like maybe somebody doesn't want to move and you do want to move, or maybe there's a fight over land, or a fight over property, or a fight over something that's been passed down. So these are things that are going to come up for you right now. They're not going to be easy, and it just feels like because you're another cardinal sign, you really don't have a problem fighting either, Capricorn, that this could be a hard fight. And I think the best thing to do is just kind of take the route that puts you in the best position at home, that puts you in the best position where you are laying down roots, not necessarily in the best position career-wise or public image-wise or any of that. Because if you care too much during this time, Capricorn, about what others think or about your image, you're going to actually mess up the potential to lay down roots in a really beautiful way and to create a home life that has the potential to be really beautiful and really fulfilling and really healing, but you just can't fight about it right now. That's the thing that's going to come up for Capricorn. No fighting. No fighting. Yeah, let it go. Let the relationships go. Let just whatever's going to happen, let it go, so that you can, within the next 18 months, start to rebuild your foundation. Okay, Aquarius, this is happening in your 3rd and 9th house. And so for Aquarius, I do think that you may find yourself having to rethink some of your beliefs and rethink some of the things that you know. And you may very well be wrong about something that you were adamant about for a while. Aquarius is a fixed sign, so they tend to be pretty adamant about things. And so you could very well find yourself adamant about something that you were just certain about something, and now you're realizing that that is just not the case, that it's not true. Maybe you were given the wrong information, maybe you were lied to about it, but now this is gonna impact your beliefs, and maybe this impacts a decision to move forward in a direction. Maybe it comes to moving, or maybe schooling or something like that. This impacts that. So just be open to that. And I would also say that for Aquarius, one of the ways to kind of overcome that, oh my God, it's not what I thought it was, is to have more conversations and to do your own research. Do more research on your own. I feel like whatever this is that's going to come up for you, Aquarius, maybe you didn't do research. You lean too much on someone else telling you something and someone else guiding you that this is the way that things were supposed to be done. And now you need to get your own information. You need to get your own research. You need to find out for yourself. And so that's exactly what I encourage you to do during this time. And I think that you'll find a lot that the research that you find for yourself is very insightful, very motivating, very encouraging, and very much feels like, okay, this is what I needed to know to get into alignment. I think Aquarius is going to have a very transformative year in 2025, and this is the rest of the time for you guys to figure it out. Y'all are going to really rise to power next year. It's a good time for Aquarius next year. Okay, and last but not least, we have Pisces. And Pisces, this is happening in your your second and eighth house. And so I really think for Pisces, when it comes to the eighth house, this could be, the eighth house has a lot to do with credit, joint resources, money you share with other people, or credit you share with other people, resources that you share with other people. It also has to do with sexual health and reproductive health. And so Pisces, it could be easily one of those two things. So I would actually lean into making sure that your agreements and your partnerships are healthy, and making sure that you know everything that you need to know about your partner, whether it's being that you're trusting that your partner is only sleeping with you, or at least, being safe if they're sleeping around. But also maybe any legal agreements that you have with partners, that you are making sure that, okay, that this is actually fair, that this is actually a binding agreement, that this is actually real. I would also take a look at your credit report during this time to make sure there's not any misinformation on there, or any of your legal agreements, that there's not many misinformation on there that you just happen to miss, and that it has the potential. I don't know why I get the image like you think you signed a 12-year lease, but or a 12-month lease, but you actually signed a 6-month lease, and now it's almost time to move, or your rent's going to go up, and you're like, what? I missed that. It's possible, and that's definitely something that could possibly come up right now when it comes to agreements, legal agreements, binding commitments. So just kind of rethink or relook, or review anything that comes up for you during this time, especially if it just comes up as a feeling, especially if you get like a dream and you feel like, whoa, why did I dream about that? Just go read the fine print. Another way to lean into this is going to be just to put more into the work that you do, the money you make from the work that you do. I feel like Pisces, I know you guys work hard for the most part, but this, like, you could work a little bit harder on your personal goals, on your personal dreams, on the things that you actually individually aspire to be. So don't get caught up in putting all your energy and your work and your effort into other people and working for other people and other people's goals and dreams. With all this Aries energy in the second house for Pisces, this is really, really good energy to really work on your goals and really work on your aspirations and your dreams, and make money doing that, and really get in alignment that way. It'll feel very healing. It'll feel very fulfilling. It'll feel very like, this is something that should have been in my life a long time ago, but we just needed the energies to get in alignment to do it now. So, okay, well, that was all 12 signs. And as I wrap up, I do want to say, listen for your sun, your moon, and your rising on all of those. The rising is going to be the most accurate. The sun will absolutely resonate as well. The moon sign may kind of be a little bit more subtle and may kind of come out over the course of April, but check all three placements, your sun, your moon, and your rising, and listen to where your Mercury would be as well, with Mercury going retrograde. Just to kind of see, if Mercury's not in the same sign as your sun sign. One last thing I do want to highlight, and I do want to say, because of so much energy in Aries, Aries is the warrior of the zodiac. It does like to fight. And so there could be a lot of fighting right now. There could be, even on a bigger stage, we could see more war, more fighting. And the ruler of Aries is Mars, and Mars has actually just made its way into Pisces. And so Pisces is a sign of belief. This could be a lot of fighting about beliefs, a lot of fighting about spirituality, and that kind of thing. A lot of fighting over confusion and misinformation, and just getting it wrong and starting an argument or a fight for that reason and in that sense. And so be mindful of that. This is feisty energy with all of this Aries energy. April is a feisty month. And Pisces, Mars being in Pisces, that it's just like, yeah, I'm going to fight for my beliefs. I'm going to fight for, you know, what I stand for as far as that goes. And, or I'm going to fight because this is what I thought I heard. And it's like, no, that's not what I said. So take a deep breath. You don't have to defend your beliefs. They're yours. You don't have to fight for them. Just keep them close to your chest. They're yours. Practice them as you see fit. And before you start arguing or feeling like you need to verbally defend yourself or even verbally or physically defend yourself, make sure that you're not confused about the entire situation. Did they really say that? Were they even talking to you? Is that what they meant? Is this person even like looking at you? Are they talking to you? Is this even a confrontation with you? So don't allow yourself to get caught up in arguments during this time. This is a peak energy for that. Let's see what comes up for us. Let's see where we need to pivot, review, reorganize, rethink, readjust in order to get in alignment with our purpose and our healing and to really get forward moving when the month of May gets here. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope that it gives you insight into how to best flow mainly through this last week of March and for most of April. We're kind of in a pivot moment now, a readjusting phase. In 5 weeks, I mean, come on, let's be honest. We just did 12 weeks, January, February, and most of March, right? We've just done 12 weeks of forward motion. It's not going to hurt us to spend the next 5 weeks. And we don't got to do 5 weeks again. This is just because the eclipses have started and we have a Mercury retrograde. So just for the next 4 or 5 weeks, allow things to come up, adjust as needed, review as needed. It's not a super strong forward motion energy. It's more of a super strong get in alignment, get on purpose. Let's get serious about our healing and forward progress type energy. Let's really get serious about being overcomers and conquerors and doing what we were placed here to do, getting on purpose and in alignment. So I hope this helps you to best flow through the energies of the eclipse season and our first Mercury retrograde of 2024. Once again, I am Juanika, also known as Miss Astrology. Please check out my website, cosmicallylit.com. And until next time, peace.